Look
Oh,
at that.
look at that. All right. This is pretty exciting because I see this comic all the time, but this is our first time chatting, I guess, in a formal setting called a podcast, but informal. I also did not know that he is a award-winning filmmaker on
It's
tour all the
true.
time. Yeah, I feel like you're always on tour. I see you at the New York City comedy clubs. Ryan Beck, everybody. Ryan Beck.
Hello, hi Ophira. I'm sorry that I stepped on your intro by
So,
affirming that it is true that I won a couple of awards for my little short film, and very proud of that fact.
that's
So,
cool. That's super
yeah,
cool. I mean, I
yeah.
think. Now, just going before I get into all of that, just, parenting podcast. What do you got? What do you got in your life right now as far as kids
Well,
are
listen, I
concerned?
just listened to an episode where you interviewed somebody with five children, and
I know, wild, right?
I loved that. Okay, that was a fantastic episode. But I was like, oh, I don't have enough qualifications to be a guest on the podcast. I have one boy. He is going to be 3 in October, so he's firmly 2 years old. He's wonderful. I love him. It's been the best thing ever. It's so much better. Honestly, he's, you're supposed to love your children right away.
Sure.
Mostly when I held my brand new baby, newborn, I was just like, there it is. I didn't know what to do. I was like, this is fine. I love him, and I will take care of him, but I don't like feel this like I need to be around. It was almost like I need to run away. I don't know.
Natural
It
feeling. I
wasn't.
wanted to run away. I wanted to run
Yeah,
away.
so like I didn't have that like rush of like everything. Your whole world changes. You know how parents talk to people who don't have kids and
Yes.
whatever. Once he started to like show us a little bit more of who he is, I'm completely fascinated. I think about him. I always have thought about him all the time, but now it's like a whole other level. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Two is great. I don't subscribe to the terrible twos. So the answer is I have one boy and he's 2 years old.
So I want to say two things back to that. One is I talk about my kid on stage, you talk about being a dad and your kid a bit on in your act. And then afterwards, if someone has heard me or maybe kind of like half heard me, I mean like another comic, because we're often like running in and out. They say to me, how many kids do you have? Because when I talk about it, it sounds like I have many, but I
Yeah.
just have one. They're always
Yeah,
like,
people
so do
think
you
I
have
have
three
two all the
kids?
time. Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
listen, they contain multitudes. So really, how many children do I have? I don't know.
I I always say I always tell them, I go, yeah, I know it sounds like I have many, but that's just you're just hearing how I'm feeling.
How old is your guy? He's like 11,
He's 8.
8. Okay, well, it's
Or
close.
yeah, almost 9. I know. It's interesting because of course, right, newborn to 2 couldn't be more different. It's like talking
Yeah.
about a caterpillar and a butterfly.
Yeah,
There's a better analogy. It's like
which we have
talking
many
about
books on that topic.
oh, I know. The way they shove these animals and insects down on you.
My buddy pointed this out. He was just like, "Are we preparing our kids for lives on a like life on a farm? What do we think that they're going to be doing in the future? That every single book is so heavily farm based,
It's I know you can't even see half these animals in a New York City zoo. Like they are
right?
not even there.
Right.
And if you do, they are kind of sad. They're a little bit
They're a little
sad.
sad, but they're there. I mean, at the Natural History Museum, they don't throw a fuss at all. Those animals seem quite fine.
That's true. Made of
They are stuffed, yeah, but they're not thrown. They don't look
taxidermy.
unhappy. They pose them in a very happy way. So
So my friend always said about the newborn thing, because I too, when I had, the live child in my arms, I was fascinated. Like there was all kinds of other things, but I was, of course, especially as a mother, worried that I wasn't having that life-changing specific kind of bond gazing into his eyes. I mean, there was a little bit of that, but I was also panicked about
yeah,
doing the right thing, keeping this little wormy newborn human alive and doing it right. And my friend, who his kids were grown, said, "Oh, you're in the handbag phase."
The handbag phase. I love it. I mean, it is. It's like a new bag. You look at it, you carry it around, you
Carry it
show it to
around.
people. You're very happy about where you got it. You tell people how much it cost.
Yeah, it doesn't do a lot, but you make sure that it functions as it's supposed to. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's just a handbag. And again, not knowing how cool that was because, of course, as they grow older, you can't just, you know, stroll them into a bar and
No,
have a
you can't
drink.
plop them down on the table and throw a few back. My buddy Jim compared the brand new baby stage. He's got 3 children now. He compared it famously in our circle to a lamp, to a really nice lamp. You got to just make sure that the lamp has power. You keep it over there. You look at it. It's just like really nice. It's a nice lamp.
That's a
And
nice
then the
lamp.
lamp starts running around and having opinions. And
You're
wow.
like, wait, 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 wait. I did not ask for this kind of lamp. I
Yeah.
want a lamp. I know my son is so, it's like I'm talking to a lawyer all the time. I mean, he basically is just always, I'm the judge and he's always just going, objection, objection. And I say overruled, and he's like finds a new way to object. What's going on?
Well, see,
Now,
my guy can't reason yet.
yeah,
So
oh,
he doesn't
beautiful.
reason. He's a very deep feeling child. And I was a very deep feeling child, and my wife was too. And so I have to kind of operate into like, I can't operate with like, this makes sense. And you have to do this because then there's these other consequences and whatever else. It's like he's having these big emotions, and I need to address the underlying thing about the big emotions first and foremost. That's really the way that I'm going to get my desired result. But I think that a lot of people don't think about that, especially with 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds and like little kids, where it's like they're not disrespecting you, because they're
Yeah.
not saying no to you because they think that you're some kind of authority figure, and they want to like, you know, it's not a teenager thing where they're like trying to do that.
Rebel. They're not rebelling.
Yeah, they're not rebelling. They're feeling a lot of emotions, and like he needs help with that. They don't know how to process. So that's one
So,
thing that like I've really tried to focus on. It's like understand what's really going on here.
yeah, I mean, that is sort of, I think, aligned with the current kind of parenting advice on how to
Yeah.
proceed.
Hmm.
So, are you reading anything or watching anything?
Yeah. So Dr. Becky is big in our house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Dr.
sure,
Becky's
sure.
helpful. And there was also, I famously, I keep saying famously, it's not famously, infamously in my relationship,
Yeah.
didn't read anything. My wife kept giving me books, and I would look at them and I'd be like, I don't know. And she read like Harvey Karp, how to swaddle a baby and how to treat a new baby and everything like this. And I watched, she's like, you got to read this. It's so helpful. I think it's really going to help us get him to sleep and to do all this and like make sure that he has what he needs. And I was like, sure, yeah, I'll check that out. And then I watched a 6-minute YouTube video of that guy putting a baby to sleep. And
Uh-huh.
I was the king. I was like, shake them a little bit, but not so you wouldn't, you'll move them around enough to where you don't call it shaking them. You
Yeah,
just shush the hell out of these. They like it loud. I'm just like
they
being absolutely rude, just spraying my son with shh. Sorry to the
yes.
listeners, but like
Yes.
so loud and like kind of you know moving him more than you would ever think that you should move a baby, and he'd go right to sleep.
The
Incredible.
Did you do like the football? You kind of hold the
Yeah, yeah.
infant.
I had like a couple different moves. I had like a big circle. I had we're going left and right. I had all kinds of different moves, and he would go right to sleep. And my wife was like, she was great too, but like, if we really needed some help, it's like come in here and I'll move them around kind of violently is what it feels like. But that's how they like it.
I
As long as
gotta
you don't
tell
rattle
you,
their little brain, you're doing right.
you're exactly mirroring what happened in my household. Like I had a lot of things that I could do, and I was a little angry or frustrated at my husband at times because I was like, why can't you do this? But he swaddling, the best, better than anyone. And also that shushing, he also watched the
Oh, it's
video.
so loud.
That's the key.
It's
That's the
so
key.
loud.
And then would
Because
do
it's
that.
loud inside the womb. That's the
Yeah.
idea. And so you
It's
just recreate those, and that's like really tight, kind of jumbly,
yeah,
loud, and it's like these are my strong suits.
it's like a nightclub in a pool.
Absolutely.
So, did you want to have kids, Ryan? Were you hoping for
Yeah,
this moment?
yeah, so that was like a thing that's I don't know if anybody really knows. I don't know. People plan, especially as you get older and you start to be like, okay, I guess we have to do this. Because we say that we've been saying that we would like to someday, right?
Okay.
So for us, it was like we know that we would like to, and then I was kind of thinking and I pitched my wife and I really think the phrase that I used was like, well, what else are we doing? So
Did she not have a list? Well, we are traveling. Well, we are
no, I
working.
mean we were like, yeah, let's go for it. You know, it was kind
Cool.
of like we're just we'd gotten through the greater portion of the pandemic, and we were
Yes.
like, um, what else? What else are we doing? So let's go for it. Let's do this. And my son was born in uh, wait a minute. Oh no, I'm forgetting my. I guess 2021. That's right,
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah.
It's crazy how everything mushes in your brain when you don't sleep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And,
That's like a
I
deeply important fact is like my son's birthday.
listen, my son's birthday falls on a day that, for whatever reason, I've had to, because I would forget. I would literally go to the doctor and they would say his birthday and I would stammer and stutter. Now, and it just, I'm sure this happens all the time, but I felt terrible,
Oh
terrible. So
yeah.
I had to set up like a little rhyming thing just to remind myself my
Oh, that's
kid's
great.
birthday. Yeah, I
Would
had to
you
do
do you want
it.
to share it? You probably don't want to say it on the pod.
I honestly don't. That's a
Is it a
whole other
sing
thing,
song,
Ryan.
Ryan? Can you give us the
It's a
melody?
little, oh yeah, it goes, dun, hmm, 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 hmm.
Oh, that's great. I
But
love
I
that.
had to because I was so embarrassed. I mean, so many things like these little numbers and stuff that
Yeah.
I have felt embarrassed about
Do you know
because
their social? I
no,
gotta go digging through files and
no.
things anytime I need that. I'm just digging through boxes and files and be like, where is this? Where's this small piece of paper that seems to matter for I don't know,
Oh
some
yeah.
reason?
How about when you go to the doctor? I mean, your kid is still small, but this will happen. They'll go, what's his height and weight? And I'm like, I don't know.
You
Because
just start using your hand, like,
like I'm like,
it's
look
about
at him.
this.
Also,
Yeah,
don't you
pick them
guys
up. I
have
don't know,
all of
pick
the
them up.
don't you have these measuring devices here? Anyways,
Right.
it's there's a million ways to make new parents feel like they're
So
not doing a good enough job.
yes, and that's a big thing that you mentioned like a couple times. It made me think about this. But I think one thing that is so tough about parenting and like when you have the brand new baby, that feeling of like, am I feeling the right thing? Or what you're talking about now, it's like if you start to, and this is across the board, adults, anybody, teens, anybody, in all things, when you start to like think about, am I having the right emotions? That's when you really get in trouble because
Yeah.
of course you're going to second guess yourself. That's kind of what we're trained to do. And then you start to have emotions about the emotions that you're feeling and then maybe emotions about those emotions. And this is why most people are in therapy.
Well, I mean, I'm in therapy. Actually,
Or
I'm going to be totally honest. I quit therapy.
same. I'm out now.
Oh, why did you quit?
Well, I talk about this in my act, but I will share it with you. It may sound like a joke, but it's because I did, in fact, write a joke about this. But
Yes.
she was a decade younger than me, my therapist.
Yeah.
And I thought that that would be fine because I was like, well, I'm not going to be the youngest person in the room forever. And they went to school and whatever else. And I would like try to connect with her. And it did not work, Ophira.
Yeah.
It was, you need an authority. You need somebody older than you. Okay. Like,
So it's so funny you say that because I picked someone who worked for me for many years, but who was basically my age.
mhm.
And I thought that was good, sort of a kind of a friendship quality. We're coming from the same space, we know,
Yeah,
even though I think economically we live in very different worlds.
yeah.
I
They're
actually
doing
started
terrible.
No, they're doing great. I started
I
to
know.
write a joke.
I got
Yeah.
it.
I started to write a joke about how when they told me that they were Zooming, we did Zoom therapy from their summer house. I was like,
Oh my gosh.
I bought that roof with my generalized anxiety. I bought your roof.
That's beautiful. And built
How
a cage
mad.
around yourself all at the same time. You did it all.
But I also felt like I needed someone with more like wisdom, honestly.
Yeah. Or at least the appearance of it. Because, and this is what the
That's
joke,
true.
this is part of the joke that I'm doing on stage. So again, forgive me, but this is
No,
a real
great.
phrase that she said. I said all my problems to her, and she looked back at me and was like, wow, it sounds like you're really feeling some type of way. You're too young. You're too young for, what are you talking about? What does that mean? It means
What
nothing.
does that mean?
It means
No.
nothing, and it doesn't help me at all. I was like, this is it. I gotta go. We're not communicating at all. Like you don't, you may be qualified and have the tools, but we're missing the connection part.
Yeah, that's like, that's when you realize ChatGPT could be helpful.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
like
I'm just
something AI would spit out. You are feeling a certain
my new
way.
therapy is trying to return a shirt over the internet. I just chat and I try to get a $10 discount.
Oh wait, so wait a second. So that, by the way, very time-consuming activity. But I guess if you put it in the place
Ooh,
of your 50-minute session with the therapist,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, like if you need free therapy, try to get a few dollars off your cable bill. Those people at Verizon will have to listen to you.
so is your tactic nice? Is your tactic be nice?
Yeah, I always try to be nice because it's a human being, but let's be honest. Time Warner, Verizon,
Oh,
all the cable companies are absolutely ruthless, and we are just numbers, and they know they sell a thing that we all have to use for life and work, and it's gross.
it's
Oof,
gross. It's totally
it's
gross.
gross.
So, but going back just a second, because right when we started talking, you were like, I identify that my kid has big feelings as a 2-year-old has
Yeah,
100%. That's just the way it is. And you were like, and I know as a kid, I had big feelings.
yeah.
So, did you tell me, like, that's a very interesting perspective. Is that something you've known always because you
I
were
knew that
a
always
self aware
because
kid?
I've always been, I think it's strange to talk about yourself, but here we are, and we're on a
Here we are.
podcast, and what's what we do.
We're
But
talking about
like,
parenting.
I
We're
was,
talking about how you
yeah,
were going to parent.
I've always been pretty self-aware of my emotions, and I think I have a decent perspective on life and many things. And I had big time emotions when I was a kid. I would be angry for no reason, seemingly, and not be able to express it, or I would be like really happy, or just like really sad about something. I've always been pretty empathetic, and I can see those things in my son with the way that he plays like imaginative play that he'll do, where he'll put himself in a toy's shoes or somebody else's shoes or something like that. And I can see these things. And so that like kind of makes me think of the way that I would play when I was a kid and the same way that my wife has talked about. And so I had big time emotions when I was a kid. I would have major rage problems and like, um, was moved to a accelerated special class because school was like so easy, it was boring, and so I'd get really frustrated, and I needed like
Mm.
more challenges and whatever else. And then, of course, there was like some anger management stuff and whatever else. So I was not only like feeling these things, but I was also being told that I had like, um, you know, uh, more than I could deal with. So I wouldn't say that I have more emotions than any other person or whatever. That's like a weird thing. You can't quantify that. But I had
Sure.
big ones that I needed to find ways to express or to manage. So I see
And
that in him.
yeah, what age were you when, basically they were like, oh, you need some extra help for your behavioral challenges or whatever way
Oh,
they
probably
said it to
like,
you?
well, I think it was like probably first or second grade was probably when like more hands were involved and be like, something's up here. My
Right.
parents still call me this still to this day. But when I was a kid, like a baby or like a 2-year old and 3-year old and whatever else, they labeled me Cryin Ryan.
What?
I know.
That's
And
not
so they'll still,
nice.
I know, and they still joke about it, and everyone thinks it's cute. And I'm like, I was telling my wife, I was like, Grace, this is like still hurts my feelings, and she's like, yeah, it should. So, uh, yeah,
Well,
I was crying Ryan as a toddler, and it's like, yeah, but and then I like look at my mom trying to parent, and I love my mom, and I love my dad so much, but I was like looking at them like take care of my son on like some of their visits, and I'm just like, well, here's why. This is what's going on. He's hungry. Quit looking over here and give him something. And I got to be like, Mom, he's trying to reach for the spoon. Can you please, reach across the table?
yeah.
So there may be some reason that Ryan was crying.
You think that your parents, so wait a second, with this in mind, you think your parents were not completely attuned to your needs?
I think that, as all parents, they were doing the best that they could, and it was 1988,
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
and they were 26,
Young. Oh my God.
27.
Okay.
And I
Maybe
was the second. I was the second kid.
yeah.
So we're talking about having a second kid now, and it's just like he's not going to get nearly the attention. He or she is not going to get nearly the attention as the first one. It's just not going to happen.
It's impossible.
It's
I mean,
impossible. There's not a chance because we also like have to pay attention to the guy that's already here,
yeah.
and he demands a lot of attention. Not demands, but he requires a lot of attention. Same as I do, same as you do, same as everybody, same as our work does, whatever. But
He
I
can't even
think
hold, can't even hold a cup on his own properly. Probably has two handles, right?
he no handles. He's doing the cups great. He's
Wow.
really good. I'm listen, and this is I've heard other people on your podcast have talked about the Montessori thing and whatever else. Montessori for my little boy
Yes.
has been the thing, and when we have a second one, I'm gonna just repeat everything we did with our guy that we have now and do it all over. Like those are, I'll put the money where it needs to happen so we can like repeat everything because the faculties he has in his he's very dexterous. The joy that he has for learning and excitement and being he enjoys like direction and singing, and he enjoys like all the stuff that um, is fostered from the school. I know how
Yeah.
much I'm bringing to this equation. I know what I'm
How,
doing.
how much are you bringing?
I'm bringing a lot of joy. I'm bringing a lot of playtime. I'm bringing a lot of compassion. But the like, him being into rules, him being into
Yeah.
singing and songs, and him being inquisitive and all this other kind of stuff. This teacher is amazing. The
Okay.
school is amazing.
So, okay, this is great. I mean, listen, I love
Independence.
that's what the Montessori curriculum is based on, like guided independence, I guess.
Yeah,
But so let's break this down. Montessori in New York is quite expensive,
it
ladies,
is. It
gentlemen, and
is.
folks. So you are a stand-up comic. You work your
Yes,
butt off.
I do.
And that is, part of what I find interesting about talking to stand-up comics who have kids, of course, is that our hours and our lifestyle and the demands of this job is very counter to family hours.
Yes, it is. It's super, super tough.
Yeah. So how are you managing working your butt off to pay for things like Montessori school, which is fantastic? And, also just try to be around because, of course, you want to be around for the kid as much as you can.
And I am. And I really have tried to focus on when I'm having family time to be completely present in family time. And then when it's time to work, be completely work related. So I'm not like half assing everything and whatever else.
Right.
There's two ways that we can pay for this school. And I'll be totally honest with you.
I love
One
it.
is that the school itself is called Montessori for All. It's in Brooklyn, and it's run by a wonderful group of people, and they work with you because they want to help. If they have their prices, and then you can talk to them as well. And so we got a couple $100 off or whatever it was,
Amazing.
and that goes a long way. And he loves his school, and his teacher loves him, and he's a great student. He's not like a problem kid. He likes to read his books most of the day, and like he's really good at eating his lunch, and it helps with, he's very in tune with the other children, and he's a good kid.
Great.
They're all good kids, but he's like an easier student, and he's like excited to be at school. And then the other reason that we can pay for it is because my wife got a new job and she's doing great.
Oh, that's amazing. And so she does not work in entertainment.
She does not work in entertainment. My wife, I don't think there's a
Smart.
problem mentioning what she does, but she works for the Girl Scouts of Greater New York.
Oh,
And it's
no
a
way.
fantastic organization, and I could probably hook you up with some cookies if that's interesting. Um,
I
you
love
say the
cookies.
word.
You know what?
We'll offline. We'll offline about
Yeah.
cookies.
Can I just tell you that I grew up in Canada, which my listeners know, but you may or may not know. And so Girl Scouts there is called Girl Guides. And at the time when I grew up, there was only 2 flavors of cookies. Came to America, there's like 47 flavors of cookies.
Are the Canadian flavors similar to something that we have here? Or are they maple
Chocolate,
based?
vanilla. Those were the two.
Chocolate and vanilla.
Chocolate,
Okay.
vanilla.
Okay. Okay. Well, then maybe I can introduce you to a few new mind-blowing Girl Scout flavors.
I'm into it. Blow my mind. That's okay. What a great organization. And I'm glad that it pays an amount that supports your family.
Yeah,
Key.
I mean, combining my meager comedy earnings and my wife's like thing, we are scraping by and we're making it work. And it's tough, it's really tough a life in the arts. And I think about what I want for him in his
Yeah.
future life. And then I can like, okay, well, how would I talk to him about his situation if he was going through what I'm going through? When I get frustrated or when I don't have the shine of a booker that month or week or whatever it
Oh
is.
yeah. It's
Um,
always the way. You're
that's
you're at the
tough.
whim of so many people.
Yeah, right. And then you also have to be an immense self-starter. And so there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do. And so that's to roundabout answer your question about like, what am I bringing to the table? It's like, well, I can bring my time. And when I'm
Yes.
home with him or when I go to pick him up or whatever else, I can be completely with him and I can put my phone away as best as I can. And give him my undivided attention
Key.
because that's what he deserves. And I brought him into this world. And so I didn't bring him into this world to be kind of pissed off while I'm looking at fantasy baseball on my phone or whatever.
Is
So
that your thing, fantasy baseball?
I love fantasy baseball. I have a problem with it. That's like the
Okay.
only thing. I don't really allow myself too many things that are true wastes of time, but this is like a way to stay connected with my college friends and talk trash to them and whatever else. So, um, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I get it. I see a lot of parents on the train, especially or whatever else, just like looking at their phone while their kid is clearly like in distress or begging for attention or something. I'm just like,
Yeah.
this sucks. Please do better. I know it's tough, but I'm doing way better than you. And I didn't read any of the books.
Okay. So just are you making the meals at home, or how are you guys splitting the labor on that front? If I take it your wife has traditional hours and then you're going out at night.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So two things. Meals, yeah, we split things. My wife's we've talked about the mental load of a household. Typically
Yes.
meal
Oh, that's a
planning is a
big one.
big thing. It's a big thing. And we are in the future, it's 2024, but a lot of things are still gendered, and the mental load of a household is big time pretty gendered for the most part, where it's like dumb man asks, "Do we have any toothpaste?" And the wife is like, I have to, you have to keep all track of, do we have this and this and this in the house and whatever else. And that sucks. And I try to be better about it. And so we have a shared list that we'll go through and whatever else. But
Mm-hmm.
meal planning, mostly on her, but I think I probably do slightly more cooking, actual
Oh,
preparing of stuff.
okay.
So
Cool.
I enjoy it. And I'll tell her, no, I'd like to do this.
Yeah.
So we do
Did
that.
you
But
did you
uh,
go ahead?
oh no, go ahead. Please ask the question.
I was just going to say, how did you feel during the pregnancy? Did you feel like the kind of, I'm going to say stereotype of a guy that's like, I wish I could do something, but I just feel like I'm just here
Oh
watching
no.
this happen.
I was so active. Oh my gosh. I'm like reaching the more and more I live, like every single day I'm like reaching a new height of insufferable, and it's a great place to be. When we like got the pregnancy test, this is what I did. Ophira, I'm not kidding. This is exactly how this went. It was like we were like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, right? We had that shocked moment, and I think what my wife probably wanted was like a hug or like to talk. And I like immediately went on Amazon and bought rugs. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Babies need rugs. You got to have rugs on the floor." I bought
Rugs.
I bought hundreds of dollars of rugs on Amazon immediately after looking at the pregnancy test. I should have been like consoling or like excited, maybe like, made a plan to call our folks or something. Like, I don't know. I just bought rugs. Panic bought rugs.
Where did you get the rug idea from?
I don't know. It was just like babies crawl. We got hardwood floors. Ah! And then I bought that, and then like we had a brief conversation, and then I went back online and I added one of those things that like little fit like soft fish that go over the bathtub spout.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
So
you
if
got to
it's
get one of
hot.
those too. That's one thing. So it's like take those off our registry. I got those. Those are covered.
So you are involved in the most hilarious way. How many rugs went back to the Amazon warehouse?
Oh no, they're all here. They're still here. They're still here, and they will last through baby two because I've seen that potty training requires, the rugs really
Rugs.
take a hit.
That's right. You're going to be rolling up rugs.
These are sacrificial rugs, so we're gonna hang on to them through hopefully a second child.
Has your perspective changed as to what work you are taking? Or are you just like, as much as I
Yeah,
can,
yeah.
all I can?
Well, this is the thing that's really tough is like work wise, I need things that pay for one.
Sure. Yes.
And then they also have to pay an amount that makes sense to where I'm not breaking even or losing money. But like sometimes
Absolutely.
you just take any paid gig because you're like, maybe it'll be more or whatever. And you can do that kind of thing 10 years ago when your life is different. Now I'm not doing that. There was
Yeah.
one show that was like in the Hamptons, and it was like 3 hours there, 3 hours back. And it was like, it pays how much? That's not even like the train ticket. What are you talking about? No, I'm
I
not
know.
going to do that. That's ridiculous. Um, and like the time away that the strain that it would put on my wife, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I think the toughest thing about being a person who works in the nighttime, and my wife works during the day, and the child is alive the whole time. Um,
And potentially
there's like,
awake the whole time.
right, he's a pretty good sleeper, but there's like a transitional period, right, where we have to switch on and off. But that also means that we don't see each other as like just able
Yes.
to discuss anything except for what's going on with him, which we love him and that's fine. But you also have to like maintain your relationship, and then you also have to have some time where you're like yourself and you're alone. And that's one thing that I think that I've been trying my best, and I think I'm doing okay. We have a new plan, which is in action, but like to try to carve out some time for my wife to be alone because I
Yes.
get to be alone all the time. I get to be alone on the train going out to my spots. I come back, everyone's asleep. I have some alone time carved out. My son is at school right now. My wife is at work. I got to take the dog out.
Mm-hmm.
I have some time to be Ryan. And my wife is like at work, come home, I say bye, and then she's got this to deal with.
Yeah.
So it's trying to carve out some time for her to have her own space, and so we've been working on that and trying to find some activities that she could like buy tickets to or something like put it on the calendar. You have to do this thing on this day, and I will handle the rest. And I won't take a show on this day because if we leave it up to the
Oh,
universe,
yeah.
you know,
Nothing
I will get
happens.
busy. Nothing will happen. She won't take the time or whatever. So yeah, that's one thing that I've been trying to do for her because it's very tough.
You're speaking my language here because I relate to all of this. And one thing about living in a city like New York, like I know you moved here from St. Louis, is that right?
That's right.
Yeah, St. Louis. And your parents are still there, I take it. I met them on the
Yes.
street.
Yes, they are. Yes, you did meet my parents on the
I
street, and my
did.
and my little
In front of
boy.
the club. Yeah, in front of the club.
Yes. So they're still in St. Louis. My wife's parents are in Pennsylvania. We don't have money for babysitters. Like, we
That's
can't
a
go out
huge thing.
together.
Yeah,
It doesn't happen. Babysitting's expensive. Like, we can't just add another $100 or $200 onto our date night because we need a babysitter as well. We just don't go out. We just don't do that. And we don't have grandparents local to where they will
exactly.
watch. So it's like, it's a weird thing where, I know it's one boy. We have one child, and people go, "That's fine. Why don't you just have the nanny watching the so and whatever?" And it's like,
I know people have
we
nannies. They've got billions of babysitters. They've got an aunt down
yeah,
the street. They have, yeah, I know. I'm jealous.
we
I'm
don't
so
really have
jealous.
like support in that kind of physical way. We have a couple of people that we call in favors and stuff too if we really need to, but it's like,
Same.
you hold on to those in case you lose a limb. You don't just go like, "We'd like to go see this movie."
Yeah, I know everyone's, that's a thing. Obviously, when you work in comedy and entertainment, people are always asking about, like, hey, what are you watching? What's the last movie you saw? And I have turned into the stereotype where I'm like, the last movie I saw was the whatever third installment of the Despicable Me franchise.
Yes, 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 yes.
And
Toy
I'm
Story
just gonna,
3, the first
I'm
15
just,
minutes of Toy Story 3.
I'm just gonna let you know I found it quite entertaining. I thought
Hmm.
the dialogue was pretty good. So, like,
Those
it's
little
just the way it
minions,
is. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it
it's so tough. And if you ask me what's the last thing that you watched, I would say, well, the last four things that I've watched are the same. Like, I've restarted a half-hour episode of TV that I wanted to watch four different times. That's what I've done. That's what I've been watching recently. The last four times I tried to watch TV, I wanted to watch this Real Sports on HBO. Four different times we've started
Did
it.
you, so during the first, let's say 4 to 6 weeks, I imagine you were both at home and just like, constantly attending to the baby and each other. Is that correct?
Yeah, my wife had a big time dealing with like postpartum issues that was really tough on her, and that's something I couldn't help with. I didn't know what to do. I
Yeah,
and we were very fortunate because her mom came in for like the first like 10 days, stayed with us.
amazing.
And so to have like a third of the time, covered, like especially those first couple night times, um, super helpful for me at least, because I got very sick right after the baby was born.
Oh no! I would
Um,
have been so mad at you. I would have been so
oh,
mad at you, Ryan.
and yeah, and you're right. This is how this went. My wife had a labor that was like, we went into the hospital on a Sunday night. I had to cancel a spot, and then the baby was born on a Tuesday morning. And it
By the
was
way, I
like,
love that you had to cancel a spot. That is so real, so comedy that you're
yep.
just like, oh, now? Hang on, I got to call a
I
booker.
know, I know. If it was just like two hours later, but it's like her blood pressure was spiking, and it
Yep,
was like a thing where it's like, no, you got to deal with this. It's like, this thing's
yep.
lighting up red. I'm sorry, but I have to take you to the hospital now. So I took her to the hospital. We're awake from like Sunday to Tuesday because the sleep that you get is not real sleep and whatever else. And I didn't take care of myself.
Yeah.
She's giving birth, and she was like delirious, and but I also was just like there not knowing what to do, and you're just waiting around but like trying to help. I'm holding her leg at one point and just trying, I don't know. They don't, it's not set up for anybody to sleep. It's like a crappy chair, that's
Yep.
worse. She was at least able to lay down, I guess, but I would never say that to her. I hope she doesn't hear that. But
It's hilarious.
um
You got to lay down during your labor.
yeah, at least you got to lay down. Let me get in the bed. um But
Where's
she
my
had the
bed?
baby. I know, she had the baby, and then we were in the recovery room, and it was like so hot and awful, and he was having trouble eating and all this kind of stuff, and then I just started to fade. I was like, oh no, and I had to go home. The nurses sent me home because I physically looked really ill, and then I got a cab and I barfed on the Brooklyn Bridge back to Brooklyn. And the guy was like, "I'm not proud of this, and I'm just going to tell you exactly how it was because I was so miserable." I get all the way back and I barfed out the side of this cab, and I was very mindful and apologetic. And it wasn't on his car, nothing, right? Like I did a good job.
Yeah.
And then I got out of there, and the guy started yelling at me. And once I got out of the car, he started like yelling at me and like he picked me up from the hospital, okay, for one. And he's screaming at me and whatever else. And I didn't know how do I win this? I need to like not hurt this man, but like let him know that he can't be doing this kind of shit. I paid for it. I tipped him. I did all the things you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And he's yelling at me. And I just was like, and I thought like, I know. I just turned back to him. I go, I have cancer.
No.
And then he shut him up. And that shut him up, and he just had to go on his day. But I was like, you can't be yelling at people you pick up from the hospital for getting sick. This is part of it.
Right. You weren't silencing
So,
others. You were
to the cancer community, but I had to use your trump card for this particular instance in the name of all hospital cab riders.
Well, I hope that in the future that cab driver is nice to someone that might be suffering from cancer. Maybe you were like an actor trying to help the movement
Yes,
have
I hope
sympathy.
so. I mean, I hope I didn't just cosmically, give myself something in a couple decades from now. But I had to win. I had to win. He was being so mean.
So desperate. I know, I had an Uber driver take me to the hospital while I was laboring, and I was fully screaming. And I do look back at how cool that guy was, because that must have been just wild to have this. I was completely out of control, and he was nice about it. It was, I don't remember. This is the thing. I don't remember anything about it except for him going like, "We've arrived," in a very soft voice.
Oh, that's really great.
So
it's so easy. Just be kind. It's so easy.
Just be kind. Okay, so right.
And now you remember that guy.
I
You
do.
forgot everything about him, but you remember that.
Yeah, and you know what? On the day that you had a new person come into your life, you remember that guy. So that's the other thing, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, I asked you, I said, hey, let's bring a couple of our challenges into this space to talk about them, not because we know what we're doing, but we're humans and we're parents and we're comics, so maybe we can help each other. So what do you got? What are you dealing with right now that I could lend my, incredibly wise and seasoned perspective, having one child that's 8?
My guy, my little boy, loves me, loves my wife, and he loves to be awake. Unless he is asleep, then he loves nothing more than to stay asleep. So when it is transitions, those are the things that are really tough. So the big transition to deal with is, and this is why summer is hard, because the sun's not going down till 9 p.m. It's like, we have to go to bed earlier than pitch black, okay? So I'll be like, it's starting to become nighttime. And then he'll be like, it's not nighttime, it's morning time. And I'm like, it's not morning time. It's time for nighttime. So I've been trying to easily guide him, but he knows once we brush teeth, that's like the start of winding down for bedtime and reading our books and doing our pajamas and doing all this stuff. So brushing his teeth, which he knows how to do. He's good at it. He can even do the backs. He knows what's going on. He sings a song. He's got it all. He does not want to do it because he knows that's all the other things are coming. And that means I got to put my train away and I got to no more whatever else, right? So the transitions are really tough. The transitions have been really tough, and being light outside doesn't help. And it's just like, big time. I wouldn't say that they're fights, but there's just like a lot of emotions. And sometimes, Ophira, I don't know if this is good, but let me just tell you, and then you can tell me if I'm doing this wrong.
I can't wait.
But sometimes when he really is getting tired, because he'll skip nap because it's the same thing.
Yep.
So then he's just really, really cranky and irritable and having a lot of feelings at 8 o'clock. And it's like, we got to get this show on the road. I will have to hold him down, not squeezing him really hard or whatever, but it's like he will thrash and get really upset. and doesn't want to put on the pajamas and doesn't want anything to change. But he's so getting deliriously tired and cranky. And it's like, we got to brush your teeth. I got to put like this stick in your mouth. That's you hate. And I got to like get you in these different clothes, which you hate, taking off different clothes and put on different clothes and all this different kind of stuff. So I've had to like be like, okay, do you want to do it or do you want daddy to do it for each task? And if he doesn't really give me an answer, it's like, I have to start this and I have to do this. And so I'll have to like physically like throw him in his pajamas and get him in a toothbrush and do all this kind of stuff. And it's like, I think that's what's so hard is like, I don't want to impose boundaries on him. I don't want to like physically have to do something for him that he can do for himself. But it's like, they don't reason. They don't think about this stuff.
No. People have often said that there's no one busier than a toddler, at bedtime. Oh, so many tasks need to be done. So many books need to be read. So like, it's just, there is all of a sudden the entire 8-hour job day has to happen for this kid.
Yeah.
And of course he's delaying it. Like that my kid does that now, but he does it with food, because he finishes dinner. Sort of like this kid could just endlessly eat at dinner. Of course, he's just like distracted, doesn't want to eat, just wants to talk. He wants to do trivia. But after dinner, can I have an apple? Can I have grapes? Can I have chocolate? Can I have crackers? And he just like, it will just keep going like a train of food, because that's his new way to delay bedtime. Still hungry. I'm still hungry. Can I have a toast? And every single
and that's
time,
the thing, was like, they know, because you're going to give them food because you don't want them to not have food.
Oh, yeah. And my big thing is food. So he's already identified that that's my little Achilles heel, because I was always like, are you fed enough? Like, I just have this weird food insecurity thing from myself. And so he knows that's where he's got me. Right. So I think like, that's the thing. That's the thing that is the hardest, is to separate the emotion from the manipulation. That these kids are so smart on one level, and I wasn't always great at it, but to like the best of your ability, just like the Zen master, nothing affects me, nothing brings a rise out of me. You can flail. I mean, again, who always can do this? I feel like Dr. Becky and all these people are like, you got to calm it down, find this deep centered moment in you. Like sometimes I don't have it. And sometimes I'm even mad at the idea that I have to have it.
Yeah. That's like the thing that's really tough, and the thing that I have been very much trying to work on. And I think I'm doing okay. I really do. I think I'm doing great. But it's like, I can't get mad at him because he's not being disrespectful. He's having these huge feelings, and it's like, he wasn't like, I'm gonna punch dad in the nose.
No.
He wasn't like, I want to hurt dad and I want to punch him in the nose. He's not thinking that. He's like having a really tough time and needs me to be, intervene. Sometimes kids can't help but like throw the spoon or whatever it is, and it's like, then I need to take the toy away. I need to take the spoon away, because you're currently incapable of using it in the right way. It's not that he doesn't want to. It's like something else is going on where he's not able to deal with it, and that's fine.
Yeah. And
physically intervening sucks.
Yeah.
But you have to do it sometimes.
And I think you just have to you got to do that thing, which again, I wasn't always able to do. Every once in a while I'd be like, oh, this is just a raging little ball of octopus slippery energy that is just really trying to be like, I want more time awake with you, because that's the fun zone. And now I've got to do all the unfun stuff. And you know what? I'm still like that. You catch me every once in a while at a bar after a show and it's 10:30 and I want to have a glass of wine and chat with people. I'm pretty mad. That I have to pack it up and go home.
Yep.
I just don't
be up at 6 doing whatever.
I just don't have anyone
cooking chicken nuggets at 6 in the morning or whatever.
But yeah, I think I have no great advice except for just go like, I hear you. Everything you're doing sounds exactly spot on. That is the thing that I want to say to you. 100% normal. Nothing out of this sounds like.
I thought that your advice might be like, oh, I just duck. Move out of the way.
I mean, just close the door and walk away. That's what I would do. Throw the pajamas on
Oh
the
my
ground, be
God.
like, you deal with it, kid, and walk away. Close the door, walk away.
Nickname him Cryin Ryan and close
Not
the
even his
door.
name. Guess what? Now you're Cryin Ryan.
Yeah. That'll be healthy.
Oh
Let's
my
keep the
God.
cycle going.
You know what really worked for my stand-up comedy? Generational trauma. So let's keep it going, kid. All right.
Oh
So
my gosh.
here's my question for you, and you'll have to answer this based on maybe your experience as a kid and as someone who I
Ooh.
assume continues to identify as a boy, as a man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
The assumption's correct.
yeah, so my kid identifies as a boy pretty strongly right now. We'll see where it goes, people. But he we put him in these summer camps, just a variety of summer camps. And for example, this week is rock. This is rock and roll camp. Okay. But this is also just an ongoing thing we find with activities in school. He's an 8-year-old kid. He's pretty smart. You know, when I feel like he has gone to some accelerated classes as it is. And also, like you, has some like frustration issues with like as you described you as a kid. So often he comes back and I'm like, how was it? Did you like, I say the thing, I say, did you make any friends?
Yeah.
And he goes, they were all jerks. Often. Says all the boys were jerks, all of them. And I don't disbelieve him. I think he like finds a lot of the ways that the boys interact jerky. It's not like he's sitting in the corner practicing violin. Let's be clear.
Right.
He's just like having a hard time relating. And sometimes it makes me freak out. I go, oh my God.
Have you asked any follow-up questions about what makes him come to that conclusion?
He just says that like, oh, I was watching this 12-year-old play a game on his phone and I was asking him questions and he told me to shut up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean that is jerk behavior. But it's also, I think the thing that's like tough is like, all right, well, what's making this 12-year-old disassociate with his phone? Maybe he's just really into the phone game and he's being a jerk. That's probably possible,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it's just hard to connect. I don't even know what I would tell you. It kind of is just heartbreaking when your child experiences any kind of trauma that you can't protect them from, which
Oh
is
yeah.
the entire existence.
All
And
of
then you
life.
go, wow, why did I do this? But
Do
also, of course, I know why I did this.
you have friends from like first grade, second grade, third grade in your life?
I have like maybe like 2 friends from like third grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I do too. I mean, I think some people, depending on how they grew up in what community, they went to school with the same people, you know, from kindergarten to high school.
Yeah,
But New York, you
that's
move.
kind of the deal that I had. But New York is different, and it's really tough. And when you are also a single kid, it's like it's hard to it's like there's not too many people his age that he probably can like lean on for like you feel this too, right?
Right.
Which is what you wanted out of your therapy, and then was also maybe not exactly what you wanted. So
Right. So, right, exactly. And you know what I say to him? I say, don't worry, Lucas, you're going to find your people. And I think that's like a little bit too heady of a thing to say to a kid.
yeah, that's tough, but it also implies like that he has to wait, and that sucks too. Kids don't want to
No,
wait.
they don't. Oh my God.
They don't want to wait for. They're like I'm not going to be alive when I'm 30. Nobody thinks that when you're like 12,
Or they think
8.
30 is like that you've got a cane and white hair and you're hobbling through the streets
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
praying for
Yep.
it to end.
It's as old as anyone could possibly be. And now I'm looking at 30-year-olds and I'm like, look at these children, these dumb
Oh
children.
God. I know. You don't know anything. You don't know anything. Do you since your rug purchase when your kid was a newborn, have you found
Oh,
yourself
yeah, yeah.
buying any other, that sort of impulse buy? We've got a problem. I'm solving it with this object. This will solve everything.
No, my wife's really good about the free groups on Facebook.
Oh, they're
And so we've got
amazing.
a ton of stuff secondhand that was basically new because especially in New York City, people are like, get this baby stuff out of my house. And it's like, this was untouched and we don't need it. And it's like, that's exactly what we're looking for.
Yep.
And there's no space. There's no space. So I'm surrounded by baby objects now in this room, this back room that we have, but um, we got a bunch of stuff for free. And so there's just like, I don't know, he's got plenty of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
There's like, yeah, I think like we kind of just try to see what he's sort of interested in, and then we'll get him some more of that stuff.
What
So
are you
we
dying to get
expose him
rid
to,
of?
oh, this trampoline. I picked it off the street because I was like, that'll be fun. It was outside of daycare was trashing it. And I was like, this is in good condition. And then I brought it into our apartment. And of course he liked it a little bit and now likes it to be there, but doesn't need it.
Right.
And so I'm like, I got to get rid of this thing. But I also don't want to just disappear his shit because I know that can also be tough.
That is
it's
tough.
also the exact moment. But that's also the exact moment when they go, hey, where's that? I got to go get my this. And
It's
you go, oh,
amazing.
no.
It's amazing how they do that.
It's uncanny.
It's wild.
Uncanny.
It's like everything in their mind has a little Apple AirTag on it. They have Apple AirTag notifications going on in their head all the time. They're like, wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
What is your dream birthday party that you would throw for your kids, like third birthday? If you could do anything. Money's no issue. You live in the city. You could do whatever you want. What are you doing?
Well, 3-year-olds don't really have like true friends. My son's got like 2 friends, maybe.
Yep.
So I don't think I really need any other kids there. So let's take that off the list. That's off the dream.
Oh my God, amazing. I love you so much right now.
This is my dream birthday party, right?
Yeah, for your kid.
I don't need any other families. I don't need any other kids. I think I would take him, and maybe I will, but I think if money's no object, I probably would like take him to like Sesame Place
Oh, yeah.
in Pennsylvania, like
Yeah.
the little kids Sesame Street theme park thing. He might like that. Maybe I'll go like drive him out to like a hot air balloon show or something. I'm not sure.
Oh, I love
Something
hot
like
air
different.
balloons. Okay.
He loves hot air balloons too, but something a little bit different. But like the party thing, he loves ice cream cake. He's had ice cream cake a handful of times on various birthdays of family members. And so I would get him one of those, and then I would go do something that he would like that we wouldn't typically do, I think.
Okay.
This feels like a boring answer.
I love hot air balloons. Are you kidding? Hot air balloons with the don't bring the ice cream cake in the hot air balloon, just as a little tip.
Oh, I wouldn't get in a hot air balloon under no circumstances would I ever get in one.
No, why not?
I wouldn't even get in one on the ground to look around. I'd peer over the side. I'm not getting inside.
Why not?
Because they go in the air. What are you talking about? Why not? It's a basket in the sky. Why would anyone be in there?
What
it has
could
no
go
steering
wrong?
wheel.
No, it doesn't.
It has no steering wheel. How do they move around? Oh, with this huge flamethrower. That's how they do it. Shoot the flamethrower at the tarp. That's how we're going to get around. Can you land anywhere specific?
No.
No. We can land in that general direction.
Okay, I got it. You've convinced me. I get it. I still want to go in one because it's so crazy. All right, but to look at them from afar, quite enjoyable.
Afar.
Okay, so you used to, by the way, we're on a podcast. You used to host not one but 2 podcasts. Unless I feel like they're both on hold right now. Am I correct?
It's probably more of a baby-related hold than ever. But my wife and I have been doing one for since 2020, where we were trying to kind of stress test our relationship and seeing if we could continue to there was all these things of like, especially in the New York Times, there was like 36 questions to fall in love with somebody or something like that. And so we went through each one of those, having already been married and being like, trying to see if we're in love, destroy our relationship. So it started out as a relationship podcast. It's pivoted into a bit of a life podcast and parenting and also relationship and trying to keep things afloat while you know, things change, right?
Yeah, rapidly.
So rapidly. And so that's the podcast that my wife and I do, and then I also had an interview podcast which is still up, and I would like to do a little bit more with, but it was an interview podcast searching for the meaning of life and talking to people about what's meaningful to them. And there were some really wonderful interviews that I did, and it was all very fun. And mostly I shut up during the podcast. I ask a couple of questions and I just listen to them,
Yep.
and it's been fun and really great. So those are the pods that I've been doing.
Okay,
And then I
so
made my short film.
that's
Loving that.
right.
These are the things that I'm up to.
Okay, so from your Meaning of Life podcast, you interview quite a lot of people, and you're trying to find out. I think like it's a little bit your quest, obviously, and their answer. So was there any through line? Was there any similarities between you're like everyone kind of feels the same way about X?
No, that's what was so fascinating. Some people were like really hippy dippy. Some people were very much like God's will kind of thing. Some people were like, no, I don't think there's any root point to any of this. It was kind of all over the board. But the thing that I guess maybe connected all of them is that people did find something, even if that something was nothing, they could derive a general sense of comfort from.
Okay, give me an example.
Does that make sense?
Give me an example.
Well, some people are very comfortable with the idea that everything ends. And that there maybe is no purpose, or maybe there's nothing, right? Some people are very comfortable with the idea that like everything is part of some kind of divine plan, and we have agency, but we don't really have agency, and all this kind of like murky stuff. That doesn't necessarily make me feel great, but that's whatever, to each their own. So people basically, whether they realize it or not, is kind of like have to make sense of the things that have happened to them and find some kind of idea that satisfies that it's not as maybe only about pain and suffering.
Right. Because otherwise it's too hard to walk the world with that.
Yeah. And I also think that it's like not the truth either. Like there's plenty of things in life that are pain and suffering, and there's lots of stuff that's great. And it's like kind of like, okay, well, that's what makes this question and this search so difficult, is that you do enjoy a lot of it.
Yeah. And then others, you're like, how is it possible that this sucks so much?
Yeah. So my big takeaway from the podcast is Lexapro.
It all comes down to pharmacology, everybody. Thank God. I mean, that is the one other thing about therapy I always think about, is that if you go to someone who can prescribe you something and you get on antidepressants and they're like, no, you still need the talk therapy. I'm like, really? That sounds like a great justification of your job, but I think we both agree that you're done.
Yeah, I once I got on that, I was like, I don't need to talk to this young person anymore telling me this slang. Like, well, you don't understand what I'm going through, and you will, and I don't want to talk to you when you go through that.
Yeah, and here's a little tip for you, therapist. You're going to need 20 milligrams, okay? Don't start with 10.
Oh, yeah.
Go straight to 20. Final thing I just want to ask you, because it's sort of unique that you and your wife work together in a setting of doing a podcast where you're talking to each other. And, you were just mentioning, like, once you have a kid in your life, it is hard to also find those moments where you're doing something like that. You're just spending, let's say, an hour talking to each other, but you did it in the way of an audio recording for the world. Was there anything you found when you two were in this kind of elevated setting that you were like, I did not know you felt that way or were this person?
Yeah. Pretty much every week that we do it, there's always something that's a little bit surprising, because, there's typically like a theme, and I'll learn things that I didn't know about her, and both of us are pretty open. I'm way more open than she is, but I can bring that out of her. And, there's also, she's always thinking, oh, someone might listen to this. And I'm just, you've heard me the last hour that we've spoke. I'm just going to say whatever. Doesn't matter. I don't feel, other than my son's social security number, which I would have to go dig through a box to find anyway. Yeah, but I like learned, well, gosh, there's so many funny, my wife's really funny. I know everyone thinks that their spouse is very funny or whatever, but she has like expressed all these strange. I just learned this 2 days ago that she had an iguana as a kid, and I'm like, how long have we known each other? You never mentioned that you had an iguana. And she's like, I hate lizards and reptiles. And I was like, I know. And she's like, but I really love that one. And I'm like, what is happening here? Who is this person that is sleeping next to me?
With
She had an iguana. She broke up a puppeteer's marriage. I learned that. Not on her doing. She wasn't like, I have to break up this marriage. It was like this guy became infatuated with her, this puppeteer, and then like ended his marriage and was like, I'm all yours. And she's like, I'm not interested in you, as I've stated.
Wow.
So
she had to cut the strings. She had to cut the strings.
Yeah, my wife is you saw her. She's beautiful and she's really cool. So some strange puppeteer man got really into her, and she was like, had to shut him down, and he maybe ruined his life, which he probably wanted to do anyway.
As someone who has
I've learned all kinds of stuff.
Also, someone who's also dated a puppeteer in the past, they really think, that puppeteering, I think, goes to their head. They think they can puppeteer more than just an inanimate objects. It goes to their head. I'm telling you.
The strings.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, you are the best. Thank you so much for joining me. I know that I also took time away from Ryan time, so I feel extra special.
Oh,
because this is Ryan time.
Ryan time is always up for being Ophira time.
Thanks.
Always.
I would never call you Cryin Ryan. I see you as exactly the opposite. I call you solid Beck. Okay.
Thanks.
I call you a Boulder Beck. That's what I'm calling you going forward.
Boulder Beck. I love
it. Follow Ryan and see where he's touring, because he's going all over the place. You can go to his website or socials. I am Ryan Beck. And I look forward to more of your podcast with your wife, because I feel like you guys are doing group therapy, relationship therapy, and being like on a date at the same time.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly how it's going. So we just got to that's it. Just keep going.
Just keep going,
everybody.
Just keep going. Please keep moving forward. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, don't do it. Go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, because it's going to upload. I'm going to press stop.
Should I stop my recording?
You can stop your recording. I'm going to stop my.
I'm stopping.